Good morning. September 26th. I was slept crooked. So I couldn't sleep. After I woke up at 1. It hurt my neck. I couldn't go to sleep. I stayed up until like 3:30 just reflecting and and thinking, and that dream, right, of the toilet paper part, of communication, really, of putting closure as best as I can for my part, right? And I hadn't heard back. I haven't heard back from either of these fire signs. But the fire sign from my past, and he's a fire earth sign, but I hadn't heard back from him. And that tends to be a pattern, I guess. So I was tossing and turning, trying to go to sleep, really, but then thinking too, well, is there anything else that I want to say, right? Is there anything else that I feel I need to say? So I reached out and voice recorded myself, I guess, if you will, to the WhatsApp, and just sent him a message. You know, apologizing, really, if I've triggered him, if I've ever made him feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry, that was not my intention. And that I will always love him for the role that he's played in my life, and, you know, the usual of how I feel about everyone, right? That crosses my path, who teaches me things. Just so happened that the way he told me was different. He wasn't technically in my physical presence. But just saying, right, that I will always love him for that. And that I really wish him the best for whatever this next chapter holds for him. Yeah. And I just left it at that. And it's funny because I also sent this other fire sign that I haven't heard from. I sent him a message a few days ago. You know, just letting him know, you know, 1, don't worry about the whole coaching thing, right? I'm figuring it out. 2, I hope he's staying balanced if he has a lot of stuff on his plate. And that's all. So it's funny that I dreamt of him last night. In that dream, that he was just waiting for me. He was just waiting for me while I finished. And then it's funny because I was even reflecting on the dream, and I realized that he's waiting for me in an amusement park as I was coming out of the door to meet up with him. When I was done, he was in an amusement park. Like, it was Magic Mountain. It was Magic Mountain, because I recognized the background. And he was there. He was just waiting for me. Waiting until I was done. But he was worried. There was like an insecurity, or being unsure for whatever reason. So I don't know where that's coming from. But anyways, I woke up laughing. Also, I finally ended up going to sleep after I sent that message to this person from my past. I was finally able to go to sleep. It was like close to 4. Oh, 3:30. 3:34. So I wake up and I'm laughing because I'm still reflecting on this dream. I'm still reflecting on, like, I was like, la la la, the toilet, like the little girl. Yeah. So I meditated, and it was I was being mindful of my breathing too, and it was different than the last time. I caught myself taking deep breaths in between that process, so it wasn't at the end anymore, and I was still like tapped in, if you will, like I was still seeing the color and the movements. But this time, it was there was this push from the right side, my future, and there was this push back, like this push back feeling towards the past or towards this side. And it was just this pushback. But it wasn't like taking up the whole space where, like, I've seen it sometimes where it's like this. No, it was literally like this side was the one that was moving, and then it would like push back, and then this side would lift. So, and there was the clear division, like there was this white space after the pushback. There was this like separation almost right here as it was pushing back, and then there was separation, and then this side would lift. So that's the only thing that I could pick up on, was just this pushback, like pushing away almost. Yeah. And then I got distracted in my head for a while. Then I got brought back. Then I've been thinking about this friend of mine, Gary. I'm wondering, still, like, also he invited me to participate in a sangha. It's a Buddhist community, and I've been thinking about it. Like, I'm thinking about it, and just thinking about it, really. And I started following Plum Village, which is, you know, the official YouTube channel thing for Mr. TNH, and just listening, and I don't know. I'm still having to chew on that. And he brings up a good point. He's just like, you know, you're just there to learn and talk to other people and gain insight, right? And then he gave me some other links to look into where he goes for insight too, and so there's that I'm still questioning, right? And then wondering, like, still, why can't he teach me? Why can't he be the one to teach me? And then wondering, like, is he supposed to be my teacher, or if he's supposed to lead me to the person who's supposed to be my teacher, right? Because I'm still, like, trying to figure out this whole spirituality, place where I belong type of thing. So anyways, I was thinking about him during the second part of my meditation as I was trying to tap back in. And then I get an email from him. And which was nice. And I had asked him some questions before, because there was a part of me that in one of my recent emails, I asked him if he believed in mysticism and he believed in this world, right? And then I put in, if so, then there's a part of me that wants to let him know what my purpose is. And so I ended it with, like, I'm like, if so, you know, there might be one more confession that I have to give. Because I'd like to hear what he has to say. Like, I like to hear his thoughts. So it's funny because I asked about him again. While I was meditating. To just see, right? To see if, is he supposed to be the one that's teaching me, or Or is he supposed to lead me to the person who's supposed to teach me? So I got an email from him at that point. So I thought that was cool. And so the email says, Yubi dear, how are you? Question, are beliefs matters of fact or of choice? And then in parentheses, the best I can do in answer to your recent question about my beliefs. Please enjoy every breath of this new day, Gary. Are beliefs matters of fact or of choice? So I'm like, that's a good question. So I'm sitting with it. And I realize, right? It's how I've been working with my clients lately. Our beliefs matters of fact or of choice. To a certain degree, they are fact when you're little. To a certain degree, because that's what you're raised in, right? We can't ignore beliefs because the world that we live in is built around beliefs, right? It's built around the beliefs within your household of how things operate, of people's roles, this belief of a woman's job, of a man's job, of a child's job, right? Then there's the religious beliefs, and there's society beliefs. And you go through life to a certain degree accepting it as fact. Until your level of awareness raises. Until you start questioning, right? Until something doesn't sit right with what you're being told. Until something doesn't sit right. And then you start questioning. Or you start feeling this incongruency, maybe, if that's the right word, this disagreement within yourself, really. And it could happen at any age. I mean, there's, children who are being brought up and then all of a sudden just start questioning, right? They start questioning, like, why? That awesome age, the 4 and 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds. I love that age. And they're like, why does this happen? Why does that happen, right? Like, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to make sense. And as a parent, you're in essence feeding, depending on how you communicate that information to your child, right? You're in essence communicating the possibility of a belief, right? Unless you ask the question back, well, what do you think? Or empowering them to kind of come up with that answer by themselves, right? It's how you address the question. Like he did. Instead of answering it, what I asked him, he gave me a good question back, which is classic, right? Classic. Our beliefs matters a factor of choice. So you go on living, right? In most cases, you go on living believing that these beliefs are fact. And then you struggle when you start questioning, right? Or when things start to not make sense, and there's this tug within yourself, this inner conflict of what you know inside to be true, but then the restrictions, right, of these beliefs that have hold over you and me and how we do and operate in everyday life. And then when you realize that you have a choice to accept these beliefs as fact or not, then it becomes a matter of choice. Then you start choosing what to believe in, right? My phone's ringing. So anyways, I'm gonna ignore it because I don't want to get lost in my thought or lose my train of thought. So it is, in essence, at some point you have the ability to choose. And that was something I was explaining to my clients this week is once you're made aware, you have to have that level of openness and awareness, right? You know, I've worked a lot with trauma, with kids and teens who've experienced trauma, and even with some adults too, and helping them realize that these are chapters in their lives, and they have now the ability, right, to look back and reflect on these chapters and rewrite these chapters for themselves. Really rewrite these chapters with this new pair of glasses that they're seeing the world through, right? And so that gave them hope. That gave them hope that they're able to rewrite their narrative, right? Rewrite these parts of their lives in a way that makes more sense for them, that makes them feel a little bit better about what occurred, how it occurred, why it occurred, and then helping them create new statements, right? Reframing. And that's what I've been helping them, and I model that for them, and I give them examples and encourage them to do that for themselves as they realize other thoughts that come up based on beliefs, right? That once they held to be true. And so then after that point, once you go through that process, you in essence created a new belief system about your chapters in your life, those moments, that trauma, if you will, or those multiple traumas, or those multiple events in your life. And it's all a matter of choice at that point, right? To a certain point in your life, and that point comes at different places for everybody, your beliefs will then become a matter of choice if you're aware of it, and if you choose it. Our beliefs matters, fact or choice. That was all. That's all I wanted to say about that. I am getting ready. I'm gonna finish up these 2 notes before I leave, and I'm gonna go walk to the Marine Bay thing place. There was a nice little walk too around the Presidio to that one restaurant, and there was a nice little park there too. So I might go there. We'll see. We'll see where these legs take me today. And I decided to wear this pretty dress as I strut my stuff down the street. So we'll see. All right. Bye. Hi. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, you know, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience, and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, you know, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and you know, we'll see what else comes next for me. So